a world where uncertainty looms and global tensions rise, an ancient prophecy holds answers that could change everything. As nations clash, economies falter, and natural disasters intensify, many are asking, where is this all heading? What if I told you that these events aren't random, but part of a precisely detailed timeline revealed thousands of years ago to a man named Daniel? This isn't about wild predictions or doomsday theories. It's about a roadmap so accurate that it has already predicted the rise and fall of empires, and now points to humanity's final chapter. Daniel wasn't just another historical figure. He was a Jewish exile who rose to become one of the most influential advisors in the Babylonian Empire. Taken captive as a young man, his unwavering faith and exceptional wisdom earned him positions of power under multiple kings, including Nebuchadnezzar and Darius. But what sets Daniel apart was his extraordinary gift of prophecy. Through divine visions, Daniel received detailed revelations that mapped out the course of human history. His most significant prophecy, known as the 70 Weeks, provides a timeline leading to the world's final days. Unlike vague predictions or general forecasts, Daniel's prophecies have demonstrated remarkable precision, accurately foretelling major historical events that unfolded exactly as described. The validity of his predictions about past empires gives weight to his prophecies about events yet to come. Today's headlines read like pages from Daniel's prophecies. The Middle East remains a focal point of global tension, with Jerusalem at its center, exactly as predicted. We're witnessing unprecedented changes, global economic instability, shifts in political power, and increasing social upheaval. The rebirth of Israel in 1948 marked a pivotal moment that Daniel foresaw. The world is experiencing exactly what was described: knowledge increasing exponentially, travel becoming widespread, and nations forming powerful alliances. The European Union's rise, Russia's resurgence, China's emergence as a global power, these align remarkably with ancient predictions. Even the recent peace agreements in the Middle East mirror prophetic patterns. Most significantly, we're seeing the exact conditions Daniel described: widespread anxiety, cultural upheaval, and a growing sense that humanity is approaching a critical turning point. What you're about to discover isn't just another interpretation of ancient texts. It's a detailed examination of prophecies that have proven their accuracy time and again. As we delve deeper into Daniel's visions, you'll see how current events are aligning with predictions made over 2 millennia ago. This isn't about fear or speculation. It's about understanding the profound significance of our times. The evidence is compelling, the patterns unmistakable, and the implications profound. Before we examine these prophecies in detail, you need to understand the historical context that makes them so remarkable. In 605 BC, Babylon stood as the world's dominant power. Under Nebuchadnezzar II, the empire had conquered vast territories, including Jerusalem. Among the captives taken from Judah was a young nobleman named Daniel, chosen for his exceptional qualities to serve in the king's court. Babylon was at its peak, its hanging gardens renowned, its ziggurats reaching skyward, and its military might unmatched. The city's walls were so thick that chariots could race along their tops. At the heart of this magnificent capital, Daniel witnessed the drama of empires unfold. Through decades of service, Daniel observed the transition of power firsthand. He served under Nebuchadnezzar, witnessed the fall of Belshazzar, and rose to prominence under Darius the Mede. His position gave him unique insight into the workings of these great empires. As a royal advisor, he had access to the inner circles of power, yet maintained unwavering devotion to his faith. This historical context is crucial. It shows that Daniel's prophecies came from someone who intimately understood the nature of empires and international relations. The accuracy of Daniel's prophecies becomes evident when examining how precisely they predicted the succession of ancient empires. He foresaw Babylon's fall to the Medo-Persian Empire, an event that seemed impossible at the time of the prophecy, yet occurred exactly as described when Cyrus the Great conquered Babylon in 539 BC. Daniel then predicted the rise of Greece, describing it as a swift leopard with 4 heads. This was fulfilled when Alexander the Great swiftly conquered the known world, and after his death, his empire split into 4 kingdoms under his generals: Ptolemy, Seleucus, Cassander, and Lysimachus. The detail of this prophecy is remarkable, even predicting the division of Alexander's empire, something that would happen centuries after Daniel's time. The fourth empire Daniel described was Rome, characterized by its iron strength and global dominance. The Roman Empire indeed proved to be different from all previous empires, lasting longer and controlling more territory. Its influence continues even today through law, language, and culture. What makes these prophecies particularly compelling is their historical verification. Archaeological discoveries and ancient historical records consistently confirm the sequence and characteristics of these empires exactly as Daniel described them. For instance, the discovery of the Cyrus cylinder confirmed details about Persian policies toward conquered peoples, matching Daniel's accounts. The Greek historian Herodotus documented many events that align perfectly with Daniel's predictions. This track record of fulfilled prophecies establishes a crucial foundation for understanding Daniel's predictions about events yet to come. The prophecy of the 70 weeks represents one of the most precise timelines in biblical literature. Given to Daniel by the angel Gabriel, this prophecy divides future events into specific time periods: 7 weeks, 62 weeks, and one final week, each week representing 7 years. The timeline begins with the decree to rebuild Jerusalem, historically documented in 445 BC when King Artaxerxes authorized Nehemiah to restore the city. The first 7 weeks, 49 years, corresponded to Jerusalem's rebuilding period. The following 62 weeks, 434 years, led to a pivotal moment in history, aligning precisely with significant events in Jerusalem in the 1st century AD. The mathematical precision is remarkable. Ancient historical records, including those from Persian, Greek, and Roman sources, confirm these dates. The Babylonian calendar system, which Daniel would have used, correlates exactly with these timeframes when converted to modern dating. What makes this prophecy extraordinary is its detailed breakdown of events. It predicted not only timeframes but specific occurrences, the rebuilding of Jerusalem in troublesome times, which history confirms through accounts of opposition during reconstruction. The prophecy speaks of a gap period following the 69th week, a pause before the final 7-year period. In Daniel's visions, empires were represented through powerful symbolic imagery drawn from the ancient Near East. The symbolism wasn't arbitrary, it reflected well-understood cultural meanings of his time. Lions represented strength and nobility, common in Babylonian iconography as seen in the gates of Ishtar. Bears symbolized crushing power and relentless advancement, while leopards denoted swift conquest. These symbols carried deep historical significance. The golden head represented Babylon's wealth and splendor, documented in numerous archaeological findings. The silver breast and arms depicted the dual nature of the Medo-Persian Empire, confirmed in ancient Persian texts. The Bronze Kingdom's description matched Greece's known military characteristics, including their famous bronze weapons and armor. The imagery of horns represented kings and kingdoms, a symbol commonly used in ancient Middle Eastern cultures. This is verified through archaeological discoveries of ancient royal crowns and headpieces. The little horn, rising among others, symbolized a ruler emerging from existing power structures, a pattern repeated throughout history. Daniel's use of cosmic imagery, stars falling, heavens shaking, reflected traditional ancient Near Eastern literary expressions of major political and social upheavals, as evidenced in other historical texts from the same period. The current geopolitical landscape mirrors patterns described in Daniel's prophecies with remarkable precision. The Middle East, particularly Jerusalem, has become the focal point of global tensions, exactly as predicted. The establishment of Israel in 1948 marked a historic turning point, transforming the region's political dynamics. Recent developments underscore this pattern. The Abraham Accords of 2020 created unprecedented alliances between Israel and Arab nations, shifting traditional power dynamics. Meanwhile, Iran's growing influence in the region, Russia's increased Middle Eastern presence, and China's Belt and Road Initiative through ancient trade routes align with prophesied power movements. The European Union's evolution reflects another prophetic pattern. Multiple nations uniting under shared governance, economy, and military cooperation. The 2016 Brexit demonstrated how quickly established alliances can shift, while recent military conflicts have exposed the fragility of global security structures. Jerusalem's status remains a central point of international dispute. The United Nations has passed more resolutions concerning Jerusalem than any other city in the world. Its religious significance to three major world faiths makes it exactly what Daniel described, a burdensome stone for all nations. Current shifts in global economic power from west to east mirror ancient patterns of empire transitions. The rise of new financial systems, changing trade routes, and economic alliances between nations follow paths remarkably similar to those outlined in prophetic texts. The global economic landscape is experiencing unprecedented transformations that parallel prophetic descriptions. Digital payment systems are rapidly replacing traditional currency, marking the first time in history where worldwide economic transactions could be comprehensively monitored and controlled. International banking systems now connect virtually every nation, creating an interlinked global economy. Major economic shifts mirror ancient patterns. The rise of digital currencies, the push toward cashless societies, and the integration of financial systems across borders create potential for economic control on a scale never before possible. The World Economic Forum's discussions about global financial restructuring echo prophetic warnings about centralized economic control. Global trade has evolved dramatically. Supply chains now span continents, creating complex interdependencies between nations. Economic sanctions have become powerful weapons, demonstrating how access to global markets can be controlled and restricted. The recent global economic crises have exposed the fragility of our interconnected financial systems. The concentration of wealth has reached historic levels. According to Oxfam reports, a handful of individuals now control more wealth than billions of the world's population combined. This economic disparity creates conditions where global economic control becomes increasingly centralized. Traditional banking is being transformed by financial technology. Digital IDs and biometric systems are becoming essential for financial transactions. The move toward central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, by major nations represents a significant step toward potentially controllable economic systems. The world is experiencing environmental and social upheavals that mirror prophetic descriptions of the end times. Natural disasters have increased in both frequency and intensity. The United Nations reports that extreme weather events have doubled over the past 20 years, affecting every continent. Food security has become a global concern. The World Food Programme warns that millions face acute hunger, with climate change and conflicts disrupting agricultural systems. Water scarcity affects over 2 billion people, with major cities like Cape Town and São Paulo facing severe water crises. These conditions align with ancient predictions of famines and resource scarcity. Social fabric is showing unprecedented strain. Traditional family structures are changing rapidly. The UN reports that social isolation has reached epidemic levels in developed nations. Mental health challenges have escalated globally, with the WHO declaring it a primary public health concern. Community bonds are weakening as digital interactions replace personal connections. Global migration has reached historic levels. The UNHCR reports over 80 million displaced people worldwide, the highest number since World War II. Cities are transforming as populations shift, creating new social tensions and cultural clashes. These mass movements mirror prophetic descriptions of peoples being unsettled. Moral and ethical boundaries continue to shift rapidly. What was unthinkable a generation ago is now mainstream, fulfilling predictions about dramatic social and moral changes. Trust in traditional institutions, government, religion, media, has declined to historic lows in many nations. The global religious landscape is experiencing transformations that align remarkably with prophetic texts. Traditional religious adherence is declining in Western nations while taking new forms in other parts of the world. Pew Research shows a significant rise in people identifying as spiritual but not religious, exactly as ancient texts described, a form of spirituality without firm doctrinal foundations. Religious persecution has intensified globally. The United Nations reports that over 80% of the world's population lives in countries with severe religious restrictions. Traditional faith communities face unprecedented challenges in many regions while new spiritual movements gain momentum. Open Doors International documents increasing restrictions on religious practices in numerous nations. Interfaith movements are gaining prominence, creating new combinations of beliefs. The Vatican's interfaith initiatives, Islamic-Jewish dialogues, and Eastern-Western spiritual fusion represent unprecedented religious cooperation and blending. Major religious leaders are calling for unity in ways never seen in history. Jerusalem remains the epicenter of religious tension. The Temple Mount Al-Aqsa compound continues to be the world's most contested religious site. Plans for rebuilding the temple have gained surprising support from unexpected quarters, while archaeological discoveries continually confirm biblical historical accounts. Religious attitudes toward morality and truth have shifted dramatically. Polls show that even among religious adherents, traditional doctrinal beliefs are being reinterpreted or abandoned. This mirrors prophetic warnings about a time when traditional faith would be challenged by new spiritual perspectives. Daniel's prophecies describe a leader who will emerge during a time of global upheaval, distinguished by specific characteristics that history has not yet witnessed. This figure rises to power through diplomatic skill rather than military might, gaining influence through peace agreements and economic solutions. Historical patterns provide context for understanding this prophecy. Like Alexander the Great, who united diverse peoples under Hellenistic culture, or Augustus Caesar, who transformed the Roman Republic through seemingly peaceful means, this leader would offer solutions to global challenges. The prophecy suggests they will emerge from a group of aligned nations, similar to how Napoleon rose from the French Revolution's chaos. The distinguishing features are clear: exceptional diplomatic abilities, unprecedented economic influence, and the capacity to build consensus among historically opposed groups. Daniel describes this leader as understanding dark sentences, suggesting exceptional insight into complex problems that perplex others. The prophecy emphasizes their rise through peaceful means, particularly through solving economic and political crises. This mirrors historical examples where leaders gained power by addressing societal fears and instabilities. The text specifically mentions their ability to craft agreements, particularly a 7-year covenant involving many nations. Their influence would be built on providing solutions to global problems, offering peace in times of conflict, economic stability in times of crisis, and unity in times of division. This matches patterns seen throughout history where influential leaders emerged during periods of intense global challenges. The Great Tribulation period, as described in Daniel's prophecies, represents a time of unprecedented global challenges. Historical patterns provide context for understanding these predicted events. Like the periods of great upheaval throughout history, the fall of Rome, the Black Death, or world wars, this time is characterized by multiple converging crises. The prophecy describes specific events unfolding in sequence. First comes a period of apparent peace and stability, similar to the calm before Europe's great storms of the 20th century. This false security is broken by sudden, dramatic changes in international relations. The historical parallel might be how quickly Europe shifted from peace to war in 1914, or how the Persian Empire fell to Alexander in mere months. Economic disruption plays a central role. The prophecy describes control over buying and selling, a scenario more feasible today than ever before, given global financial interconnectedness. Historical examples like the Great Depression show how economic crises can transform societies and shift power structures. Natural disasters increase in frequency and intensity. The text describes events similar to historical catastrophes, famines like the Great Chinese Famine, earthquakes like Lisbon 1755, and social upheavals like the French Revolution, but on a global scale. The Jewish temple plays a significant role in these events. The prophecy speaks of its desecration, reminiscent of historical events like Antiochus Epiphanes' actions in 167 BC, but with far greater implications. The focus returns to Jerusalem as the center of world attention, much as it has been throughout history. The prophecy describes a final conflict centered in the Middle East, specifically in the region of Megiddo, a location that has witnessed numerous pivotal battles throughout history. This ancient battleground, where civilizations have clashed for millennia, becomes the focal point of a final global confrontation. Historical context is crucial here. Megiddo's strategic importance is well documented. It has seen battles from ancient Egyptian times through World War I. The plain of Megiddo, Armageddon in Greek, overlooks key trade routes that have been vital throughout history. Napoleon himself called it the perfect natural battlefield. The prophecy describes armies gathering from multiple directions, from the east, north, and south, converging on Israel. This mirrors historical patterns where Middle Eastern conflicts have drawn in global powers. The scale described surpasses even the largest historical battles, like Operation Barbarossa or the Battle of the Somme. Jerusalem becomes the focal point of this conflict, much as it has been throughout history. The city's strategic and symbolic importance makes it a natural flashpoint, as demonstrated repeatedly from the Crusades to modern times. The prophecy suggests this final conflict will involve virtually all nations, similar to how World War II expanded from regional conflicts to global warfare. The description of military movements follows logical strategic patterns: control of water resources, key transportation routes, and strategic highlands. These are the same tactical considerations that have determined military outcomes throughout history, from Alexander's campaigns to modern warfare. The prophecies culminate in describing the return of Jesus Christ, an event fundamentally different from his first coming. While he first appeared in humility in Bethlehem, the second coming is depicted as a moment of unparalleled historical significance. The prophecies describe this return using imagery drawn from ancient royal victories and divine manifestations. Historical texts, including both biblical and extra-biblical sources, document the impact of Jesus' first appearance. His return is described as being as visible and undeniable as lightning that illuminates the sky from east to west. The prophecy uses imagery familiar to ancient cultures, a king returning in victory, much like the triumphal entries of Roman emperors or Persian kings. The Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, is specified as a key location. This mountain has historical significance, featuring prominently in Jewish, Christian, and Muslim traditions. Its strategic position overlooking Jerusalem made it important in numerous historical events, from King David's time to the British campaign under Allenby in 1917. The prophecy describes a gathering of believers from all nations, a remarkable prediction given the local nature of most ancient religions. This global assembly transcends cultural and national boundaries, similar to how Christianity spread from a local Jewish movement to a worldwide faith. The establishment of Christ's kingdom is described in terms of perfect justice and peace, concepts that have been the goal of human governments throughout history but never fully achieved. This kingdom represents the fulfillment of humanity's age-old quest for just and righteous rule. Understanding the signs requires careful attention to both historical patterns and current developments. These indicators aren't meant to set dates, but to create awareness of prophetic fulfillment. The primary signs focus on several key areas that can be observed and verified. The first category involves Israel and Jerusalem. The restoration of Israel as a nation, the ongoing conflict over Jerusalem's status, and the increasing international focus on this region align with prophetic descriptions. The United Nations' frequent resolutions about Jerusalem demonstrate its continuing significance in world affairs. Global political alignments provide another indicator. The formation of international alliances, particularly involving nations mentioned in ancient prophecies, deserves attention. Current Middle Eastern agreements, European unity, and shifting power balances reflect prophetic patterns. Economic developments offer clear signals. The movement toward unified global financial systems, the concentration of wealth and power, and new technologies enabling economic control are unprecedented in history. These changes create conditions described in prophetic texts. Environmental and social changes serve as additional markers. Increasing natural disasters, social upheaval, and moral transformation mirror prophetic descriptions. The breakdown of traditional structures and rise of new social patterns follow predicted trends. Spiritual preparation in light of these prophecies focuses on practical and personal development rather than fear or speculation. The emphasis is on building strong foundations of faith and understanding, much as Daniel maintained his spiritual integrity while serving in a foreign court. knowledge of Scripture becomes essential. Just as Daniel studied ancient prophecies during his time in Babylon, understanding biblical texts in their historical context provides wisdom for current times. This includes regular study, meditation, and application of biblical principles to daily life. Character development plays a crucial role. Daniel's example shows the importance of maintaining integrity under pressure, staying faithful to beliefs despite cultural opposition, and developing wisdom to navigate complex situations. These qualities become increasingly valuable as social pressures intensify. Community connections become vital. Historical examples show how faith communities provided support during challenging times. Building strong relationships within faith communities, maintaining regular worship, and supporting fellow believers creates resilience. Prayer and spiritual disciplines take on renewed importance. Daniel's practice of regular prayer, even when faced with persecution, demonstrates the importance of maintaining spiritual habits. These disciplines provide stability and clarity during uncertain times. Practical preparation involves wisdom in managing daily life while maintaining spiritual focus. Drawing from historical examples, including Daniel's approach to living in Babylon, several key areas require attention. First, maintain professional excellence. Daniel's example shows how believers can serve with distinction in their vocations while staying true to their faith. This means developing skills, maintaining ethical standards, and being valuable contributors to society. Excellence in work provides credibility and influence, just as Daniel's wisdom gave him authority in Babylon. Second, develop discernment in information consumption. In an age of overwhelming information, the ability to distinguish truth from falsehood becomes crucial. This means studying history, understanding current events in context, and maintaining a balanced perspective. Daniel's ability to interpret events while remaining grounded in truth serves as a model. Third, strengthen family and community bonds. Historical examples show that strong family units and community connections provide essential support during challenging times. This includes teaching children, maintaining healthy relationships, and building networks of mutual support. These connections proved vital throughout history during times of social upheaval. Fourth, practice responsible stewardship. This involves wise management of resources, financial, physical, and spiritual. Like Joseph in Egypt, prudent preparation for future challenges while maintaining generosity and trust in God's provision creates stability. This isn't about fearful hoarding, but wise management. Finally, maintain balanced living. Daniel's example shows how to remain engaged in society while staying true to faith principles. This includes physical health, mental well-being, and social engagement, all while keeping spiritual priorities in focus. The prophecies of Daniel present us with both a challenge and an opportunity. As we've examined these ancient predictions and their remarkable accuracy throughout history, the call to action becomes clear and personal. First, consider your own spiritual journey. Just as Daniel maintained his faith while serving in a foreign court, we too can live with integrity in challenging times. This isn't about dramatic gestures, but about daily choices and consistent faith. The evidence we've examined demands a response, not out of fear, but from understanding and conviction. Second, share this knowledge wisely. Daniel's prophecies aren't meant to create anxiety, but to provide understanding. Share these insights with discernment, helping others understand current events in light of prophetic patterns. Focus on encouraging faith rather than promoting fear. Third, live purposefully. Understanding these prophecies should inspire us to live more meaningful lives, not withdraw from society. Like Daniel, we can engage with our culture while maintaining our values. This means being excellent in our work, compassionate in our relationships, and wise in our choices. Finally, maintain hope. These prophecies reveal that history isn't random but has purpose and direction. Even in challenging times, we can face the future with confidence, knowing that every predicted event in the past has occurred exactly as foretold. The choice now lies with each individual. Will you, like Daniel, stand firm in faith while serving your generation? Will you prepare wisely while maintaining peace? The prophecies aren't just predictions to analyze, they're calls to action, inviting us to align our lives with eternal truths. This concludes our examination of Daniel's prophecies. Would you like me to revisit any particular section or provide clarification on any points? This final section provides a balanced conclusion while avoiding sensationalism and maintaining focus on practical application. The entire series has maintained historical accuracy while avoiding speculative elements. Thank you for watching this deep exploration of Daniel's prophecies. If you found this content valuable, please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. What aspects of these prophecies resonate most with you? How do you see them relating to current events? Support our team's continued research and content creation by subscribing to our channel. Each subscription encourages us to produce more in-depth analyses of biblical prophecies and their historical context. Share this video with friends and family who might benefit from this understanding. Don't forget to like this video. It helps others discover this important content and supports our ongoing work. Join our growing community of thoughtful believers who seek to understand these ancient prophecies in light of current events. We look forward to reading your insights and engaging in meaningful discussions in the comment section.